Hello, guys, and welcome back to Make Finance Easy. Today's topic will be a continuation of AP Macroeconomics Unit 1. In the last video, we covered scarcity, trade offs, and opportunity cost. Now we'll build on that by starting with comparative advantage, then moving into terms of trade, economic systems, the circular flow model, and basics of supply and demand. Let's start with comparative advantage, the foundation of how and why countries trade. There are two types of advantage. Absolute advantage. Absolute advantage is who can produce more with the same amount of resources, and comparative advantage, who gives up less when producing a good, meaning the lower opportunity cost. To find the comparative advantage, calculate the opportunity cost of producing each good. Whichever producer sacrifices less has a comparative advantage. The rule is simple. Specialize in the good where your opportunity cost is lowest, then trade. Even if one country is better at producing everything, both sides gain from trade when each specializes. Now, terms of trade. Once we know who specializes in what, trade can only happen if both benefit. That's where terms of trade come in. Terms of trade must fall between the two countries' opportunity cost. If the trade ratio is in the middle, both sides gain, then they can produce a loan. If it's outside the range, one side loses and the trade won't happen. Next is economic systems. Let's look at the three major economic systems that answers the big economic questions of what to produce, how to produce it, and for whom to produce. First, there's the market economy, decisions made by the individuals and firms. Prices are determined by supply and demand, driven by incentives and competition, leading to a higher efficiency. Next is command economy. Government controls resources, production, and prices, often results in a shortage, inefficiency, and limited consumer choice. Next is traditional economy. While it's not used as much anymore since it involves a barter system, it still has been there in some tribes. And then mixed economy, a blend of market and government intervention, the system used by almost every modern country. These systems shape how resources flow and how decisions are made across the economy. Now let's talk about circular flow model. To understand how money moves throughout the economy, we use the circular flow model. There are two key players, households and firms, and two key markets. Product market, which is where households buy goods and services and firms sell them, and the factor market, which firms hire workers and buy resources from households. The money starts to flow in a loop. Households earn income by selling their labor, then spend that income on goods and services. Firms use that revenue to pay workers and buy inputs. This model captures a continuous cycle of spending and income that keeps the economy functioning. Supply and demand basics. Finally, let's break down the backbone of all market behavior, supply and demand. Demand. The demand curve shows that the quantities consumers are willing to buy at various prices. It follows the law of demand. When prices go up, quantity demanded goes down. Demand shifters, consumer income, preferences and tastes, prices substitute and complements, and expectations of future prices. Another thing that can also affect demand shifters is number of buyers. Supply. The supply curve shows how much producers are willing to sell at different prices. It follows law of supply. When price goes up, the quantity supplied goes up. Supply shifters are cost of inputs, technology, tax and subsidies, expectations about future prices, and number of sellers. Where the two curves intersect, we get market equilibrium, the price and quantity the market naturally moves towards. And that is the basic overview of AP Macro Unit 1. Everything from comparative advantage to economic systems and the circular flow and supply and demand. In the next video, we'll talk more about market equilibrium changes and how real world shocks shift supply and demand. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.